So in 1968, a certain Ford blazed its way onto the silver screen, and it was the Ford Mustang GT Fastback. And today we've got this, the Mustang GT, paying homage to that film, Bullitt edition, with 450 brake horsepower, 530 newton meters of V8 pure Texan horsepower. And it's absolutely stupendous. Woohoo! Oh, it just makes you feel so good.
The Bullitt's V8 motor puts out 450 horsepower. That's 40 more than the standard Mustang, and it's only available in a manual and in this Steve McQeen green. With us being true petrol heads here on Heel and Toe, one special edition Mustang wasn't enough for us. So we also have this 55 edition, which also has increased brake horsepower at 450 brake, but this model has an auto box.
First time driving what they call a pony car. So the Mustang, the first Mustang, coined the term pony car, and I think that's defined by like sporty looks. It's just not as big as a muscle car, basically.
And it's not as unhinged.
No.
This is like a good quality GT car.
Yeah. It's like they're very European now. These aren't they? They're still a little bit loose. Like this is the auto, so the box in this it's pretty sluggish.
Is it?
Yeah, I think if I was to get one, I'd want it in a manual, just because it's more engaging. But you know, this, you've got that soundtrack and you can just cruise in this. You can see why in America, where they don't have corners and it's just straight roads, why this is a massive appeal over there.
And fuel's remarkably cheaper as well.
Yeah.
And insurance is cheaper.
Yeah.
And tax is cheaper. You don't get penalised for having a V8 in America.
Or just having penalised for having a car.
Just for having a car. Like, how dare you drive your car anywhere? Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah, I don't know what they expect us to do over here. Like, get bus, but they never come either.
Yeah.
They're usually full of people sick and stuff.
Covered in piss. They're literally covered in piss. The last bus I got on, there was a guy at the back who was drunk, right? And he pissed himself, and every time the bus braked, the piss came down the centre, and every time the bus accelerated, it went back.
That's every bus in the UK, isn't it?
That is public transport in the UK. In the meantime, we've got, 5-litre V8 Mustangs.
So today we've got two of the more powerful ones.
Yeah.
So both of them are around 450 brake. So you've got the Bullitt, and then you've got this one. I think we've sort of spent all day in them, haven't we? Just getting shots and stuff.
Yeah.
And the Bullitt sounds nicer somehow. I don't know whether it's got like I think it's got a bigger
intake.
So there's a bit more intake noise, and it's a bit grumblier, but. They both just sound absolutely wicked.
They sound amazing. I mean, there's a lot of noise coming out of the pipes.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of noise.
OPF as well. Like, these are 2020 cars.
I know.
And they sound proper mean.
They sound amazing. And there's a lot of noise coming out the front as well. There's a lot of rumble from that big block in the front.
It's so much fun.
I know.
And obviously we've got like independent like rear suspension now as well.
Yeah.
So it's not just like that whopping big steel girder that you used to get in the old ones.
Like in a horse and cart.
Yeah.
Leaf spring suspension.
Yeah.
That was on the Corvette until about 3 weeks ago. Wasn't it? They still had leaf spring suspension.
Yeah, Americans.
But it's because they don't have to go around corners. Everything's in blocks and squares and rectangles. There isn't this.
No.
They'd never think, we best go and test it round a corner.
No, they don't even know that we exist, No, some Americans, they just think that America is the world.
Yeah.
The 5-litre quad-cam V8 offers lots of drama and an epic soundtrack for the money. but don't expect a refined European GT car. Despite now having fully independent suspension and a limited slip differential, it's still a bit of a numb old boat. They're quite lazy and wallowy, but we found that that's actually something that almost adds to their charm. They're quite accepting of their Americanisms and aren't trying to be something they're not. They're engaging and don't take themselves too seriously.
Interior-wise, points of view?
It's not as bad as I thought, actually. It's actually not as bad as I thought it would be. Yeah, alright, there are plasticky bits. Yeah. This door, like, this is not brilliant.
It is a bit scratchy. It's a bit scratchy, but it's £44,000.
That's exactly it. Like, you've got screens and that, you know, these are metal touches for your buttons here inside.
Yeah.
It's alright.
I'm happy with the trim. Yeah. For the price and what you're paying.
Absolutely.
For the drive you get in and the whole package, I'm quite happy with the standard of interior. I think it's I love the digital dash.
Yeah.
I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's
one of the best digital dashes I've seen that. And this particular model's got the Bang & Olufsen system in it.
Nice.
And so has the Bullitt that we've got today as well. I think that's an extra, and that's an optional extra. This is the kind of car you'd want to get in. Right, we are going to the south of France, or we are going to drive to Spain, or this is a proper cruiser. Loads of legroom, good sound system. You can turn that off and listen to the engine if you want. You can drive it fast, you can drive it slow. It's brilliant.
And it's actually pretty good in the corners as well. Like, alright, it is a bit loose, and it's not as refined as maybe some cars are. But again, for that price point, what more do you want?
I think just purely for the sound that's coming out the back end of it.
Yeah, and you kind of put up with it because it's a Mustang. Yeah. Mustangs have always been a bit loose and a
bit saggy.
Yeah.
Like an old man's testicle. Just that bit lower, that bit swingier, a bit saggier.
Yeah.
But they still do the job.
They definitely do. Exactly. That's a very good, what do they call
Analogy.
Analogy, yeah.
Is that the right word?
Yeah.
Old man's testicles.
The Mustang is just like an old man's testicles.
Yeah. Been around the block, done its job a few times.
Yeah.
Reliable.
The Autobox is, for lack of a better word, tragic. It's extremely slow and pretty much makes the car incapable of being driven properly. The brakes are also a real weak point and completely inadequate for the car's power and weight of 1,800 kilograms.
Yeah, so in the Auto we've got this 10-speed. 10-speed?
It's mental.
It's like there's too much going on. You don't know what gear to be in, and you go around a very slow corner and it's in bloody 5th.
Or 7th.
Yeah, look, I'm doing 25 mile an hour, it's in 5th.
Yeah, it's...
And I'm in sport.
Yeah, I don't
like,
get it.
Where does it... What's it thinking? And the paddles are kind of a bit... It takes... I was in with George earlier, who helps us film it, and we were changing gears, and sometimes it takes like literally 2 seconds to change gear.
Really?
Yeah, so I think the manual's the one to have.
The manual box in the Bullitt, I've got no complaints at all. Right. Like, it's a really short throw. It looks like a snooker ball.
Yeah, it does. It looks mega, doesn't it?
Which is world class.
Yeah.
But it feels good in your hand. And what I think is, again, I'm not sure if you've experienced this. I'm quite tall.
Yeah.
But the driving position, perfect.
Oh yeah.
For me.
You know exactly where it is. It's not imposing.
Yeah.
You can get used to it straight away.
Yeah.
I think we're big fans of this, aren't we?
Yeah, I love it.
I didn't expect to be a fan of it.
I didn't. This is what I mean. This is why I kind of approached it thinking it'll be good.
Yeah.
But I don't think I'm going to love it. Yeah, and I'm actually like, I actually would love to have one.
Yeah.
Like, I would love to own one because.
And people look at it as well.
Yeah, it's got a bit of street cred, hasn't it?
The amount of people that have looked at it and taking pictures and stuff. Like, we were driving down the road a minute ago, and some woman were like out of a front door, like filming us.
Yeah, mental.
And it's a like 50 grand car.
I know, but it's a Mustang.
Yeah.
And it matters. That name carries a lot of weight.
Yeah.
It's Hollywood's Bullitt thrust this car onto the silver screen in 1968.
Yeah.
And since then it's been an absolute legend in every car circle going. It's a Mustang.
Yeah.
And
all the cool guys have got Mustangs, haven't they? Like John Wick.
Yeah.
Steve McQeen.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're a cool dude, you've got a Mustang, haven't you?
Absolutely. It's a bit of a you kind of car, innit? You know what I mean? It's like a bit of a
bit like I'm well cool. I don't care if it's loose.
I don't give a about the planet.
Yeah.
I don't give a about any of that. I've got a 5 litre V8.
Got a V8 motor. what do you think then, Steve?
I absolutely love it. Yeah, I think it's fast. It sounds great. It's got a 5 litre naturally aspirated V8. The interior's good. It's comfortable. It's kind of perfect.
And for the money, like we said, they're good for the money.
The money, yeah, because what we're talking, 25% of the cost of a AMG GTR. Yeah. And granted, it doesn't drive like one of those. And you've got to let it, it does wallow a little bit.
It's still got character though. It's not like it's numb and it's horrible. It's a Mustang.
It's got loads of character.
It's meant to be like that, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think if you were going to take it on a track or whatever, it's not really the car for that.
No.
Driving around here every day, it makes you feel good.
Yeah.
I'm in my Mustang. People look at it. People take pictures of it.
Yeah.
It's ace. I love it.
I love it as well.
I love it. I like it in this green. I think without the badge. But Ellie's got some spacers on that one, and wheel spacers, and it just looks a bit wider and a bit angrier.
It works a lot.
The spot with the rear diffuser as well.
Yeah, definitely works. It's made.
Spoiler, sorry, not diffuser.
Yeah, it looks fat. It looks poised. It looks angry. This could just do with those spacers, and it would look $1 million. To be fair. Yeah.
Well, there we go then.
I don't think we realise quite how much we'd like these cars. So if you're in the market for a big fat V8, Ford Mustang.
I agree.
Yeah, go and buy one right now.